Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to talk about 2K26 once again, and this time we're going to talk about Universe Mode. Universe Mode is typically the mode I play the most, except for in 2K25 because of all the bugs and glitches with the Creator Wrestler. I kind of got turned off on the game. I've said this in every video, so I never really got around to Universe Mode this year. I did play, I want to say almost 1 year in the mode. Typically I'll play like 10, 15, maybe 20 years of the mode because I play it all year long. Past the first month of the game's release, I didn't really play it that much. I went and added all my wrestlers to it, all my championships and all that kind of stuff. I got it all set up, ready to go, because I was going to make some shows for the YouTube channel, even though those don't do very well. They're fun to do. This channel was originally going to be just a universe show channel with all my original characters mixed with real wrestlers. And that was it. You were never supposed to see my face. But the channel kind of evolved, and here we are, 6,000 subscribers later. So, once again, thank you. So anyway, here are the things I hope we see in 2K26 and in the franchise going forward, obviously. But mainly 2K26, because if they are dropping last gen, I feel like now's the time where they can really start making big changes to the fundamentals of the game in each mode. Now, granted, they've only had, 8-9 months since the last game, so I don't think that there's going to be anything majorly different, but who knows, maybe they added on a ton of new developers, maybe they figured out AI, even though however you feel about AI, it's going to be in games eventually. So I feel like AI could really help the 2K games as far as like wrestling, to really fix like Universe Mode. Let AI fix all the mechanics of it. My GM, even though my GM's not very broken because they've rebuilt it from the ground up, they could use AI to make it more expansive. There's ways you can use AI to really help the game. I don't want anybody to lose their job, but they're building off of a code from a game from the original PlayStation still. They've ripped it apart and added stuff to it and done stuff to it, but still, fundamentally, this is SmackDown from, I want to say 2000, the year 2000, way back on the PS1. It might have been 2001. I'm trying to remember when it came out. I think it was 2000. Correct me in the comments down below. Anyway, they've been building off of that ever since. Even after Ukes left. You can still feel the skeleton of that game when you play it to this day. Anyway, so the first thing I want to see in Universe Mode is let me book every show for the entire year. What am I getting here? Let me explain. So before I even start playing the mode, let me plan out the storylines, the matches, the rivalries, when certain cutscenes should happen, everything. If this truly is our universe and sandbox, let us plan it out instead of just playing random matches each show, or having it generate a random show each week to week and for pay-per-views, and then having to go back and change the matches if you want to change them then. What I'm getting at here is right when you set it up, they should say, I want to be able to control everything. Call it God mode because of Roman Reigns. They could call it God mode, where you go in and you could literally book every single match for the entire single year for every single show if you want to take that time. For me, I would just do it for my main show, my Strizer 2 wrestling show that I was trying to do on the channel. I would fully book it out for the entire year, pay-per-views, everything, plan out storylines, everything. And by doing this, onto section 2 here, number 2, this is how they could bring back create a story. Create a story could be implemented into Universe Mode by allowing us to pretty much plan out the entire year, kind of like they do with real wrestling, where they plan out the entire year storylines. Unless someone gets hurt, then obviously things change. But it'd be so awesome, especially for content creators that want to create like a universe, a show, and have like a storyline. Imagine taking your favorite era of wrestling, let's say Stone Cold's run. Imagine having him face different people. You could throw in Ultimate Warrior, you could throw in Cody Rhodes, you could literally throw in anybody, but you could just take it and book it all out how you want. And to piggyback off of that, we're going into the third one here. I'm kind of skipping around here, but to piggyback off of that, because some people don't like having to create things, obviously you'd still have the old options in there where it does it automatically. But what would be really awesome for Universe Mode is instead of having a showcase mode, use the idea of showcase for Universe Mode. What I mean is, when you go to load up Universe Mode, have preset storylines or segments for the mode. In other words, I want the entire year, like let's say the 5-10 year run of your favorite wrestler. I want to play through that, and it has every single beat, every promo, every match, everything that they did in that year. Now that'd be pretty hard to do historically, but I mean, if they didn't want to have to do it for a whole year, they could do 6-month increments. It could be a shorter version of it, if you will, but they could just have the pay-per-view beats with it. There's so much you can do with Universe Mode, and I feel like instead of focusing on Universe Mode, they're trying to add in other modes elsewhere instead of, like, if I was the lead developer for WWE 2K games, all my attention would be put on Universe Mode. I would personally throw out Showcase because I feel like it's a one and done mode. I feel like it's a waste. I would pretty much get rid of my GM and just put it back in Universe Mode as an option. Like, you could either play as a wrestler through the mode, you could either play as Booker Mode, which is pretty much where you do everything, Universe. Then they could have God Mode, where you literally plan out the entire year. They could have My GM Mode, which adds in all the My GM stuff. In fact, My GM Mode eventually became Universe Mode, if you recall. I just find it funny that people were complaining about all the micromanagement, so eventually they moved away from it and created Universe Mode, or evolved into that. And now, years later, they're like, we want My GM back. It's like, really? Because you guys complained about how monotonous it was, and now here, anyway, it's back. It's back anyway. And I feel like it's a really good mode. It just needs more options. We'll make a video about that too. I'm making a video about every mode. So the next one is Universe. Anyway, so with all that cool features, quick recap, because I got really excited when I was talking about this, because this is like something I've wanted in this game for years and years and years, ever since they implemented Universe Mode. Allow me to pretty much book the entire year, and if you can't do a year, give me 6 months, and then allow me to, just play through it. After you've set everything up, I know there's a lot of people that would love that. Because when you go through it each week to week to week, and you have to constantly change the matches, constantly try to change what you want, this would allow you to really set up the rivalries, when cutscenes happen, I keep saying it weird, and it would just be so fun and rewarding to play. You could set it up for if let's say you're a YouTuber and you have a channel and you want to make a show, you could literally plan out the entire season pretty much and just play through it and see how it works out. Obviously, they would have some stuff in there to where you can change it on the fly. If you have injuries on, you could have to sit there and switch it. It's kind of like a My GM light mode, right? Maybe they should add the stuff to My GM mode, but personally, I want this in Universe Mode. I hate the fact that it's just random. And then you have to go through and like, no, these two shouldn't be facing every single week if they're going to face at the pay-per-view. No, these persons shouldn't be facing each other. Why is the champion in the middle of the card instead of the main event or the opener? That always annoys me. It's like there's certain things that they could obviously fix, but I feel like allowing us to control the entire year and book every single match. I'm talking, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, if you want to take the time to do that, or you could just focus on one show. Because holy crap, can you imagine taking the time and booking an entire year of the main shows? For me, it would just be my show. But if you took the time to edit SmackDown, Raw, NXT, every PLE in the entire season, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. To top all that off, number 4, so that was 1, 2, and 3 that I had written down. Number 4, allow us to upload and download other people's universe story or playthrough, just like Create a Story. For the first year of this new feature, they could just do 6 months because I feel like a year would really bog down the servers. But who knows? Maybe they have a way to figure that out, because I feel like the file sizes would be pretty big, but it would just be data. And what you would have to do with the story beats, if you use any created wrestlers, you'd have to go in and change those out. But if they just use main roster talent, in fact, they could limit it to the main roster just for the first run of it to test it out, to see how it functions and to see how people like it. They can make it to where you can only download storylines with people that use real wrestlers, and then you can go in and edit them out with your wrestlers if you wanted to. So I feel like Ultra Pro Wrestling is trying to do this with its story mode, where it does all the story beats throughout history of wrestling, and you can interchange the characters and replace whoever. So everything Bret Hart did. It's not actually Bret Hart because they don't have his likeness in the game, at least not yet. You could literally I could put Strizer in that spot, and Strizer does everything that Bret Hart did. I believe that's what they're trying to do with Ultra Pro Wrestling. That sounds like a freaking nightmare. But anyway, when I thought of this, I thought this is like a revolutionary thing. And I can't wait to see what they do with Universe next year. They have been slowly adding stuff to it and fixing some things here and there. They added a whole new rivalry system. I feel like it worked a lot better this year than it did last year. They are doing stuff with the mode. It's just not enough to really make it the mode it should be. Number 5, bring back show openers like we used to have, or at least for the PLEs. It sets the table for the show and really gets you in the mode or the feeling of watching the show or being in the show. If you know what I'm talking about, I think it was in 2K20, where in Universe mode, if you were doing Raw, SmackDown, or if you made your own show, it allowed you to set up like a show opener. So show off the fireworks and play like the opening cutscene or whatever, like when they open Raw and the announcers are talking and it shows the audience and it shows the logo and everything. I want that back. That's a really cool little feature. Number 6, I brought this up in multiple videos. I really want the visual filters like we had in 2K19 to come back. I mean, they had this really cool cell shaded feature. I mean, we could have the toy feature, like I said in a video before, where it turns everything into action figures because we have the action figures in there already. We could have the cell shaded feature like we had in 2K19 where it makes it look like Borderlands. We could have the 8-bit feature, which I think it's in it already, but that makes your eyes bleed because it's so fuzzy. We could have the grainy TV screen. I mean, stuff like that. And those are in there already, but the one I really want back is the cell shaded one because it makes it look like a cartoon. And I really like that, especially with the over-the-top characters I make and everything, because they're basically comic characters. It just looks so cool, and it made it feel like a completely brand new, fresh game. I want the filters back, and I want like 20 of them. Why limit it to just one? If we truly are dropping last gen, and I apologize for you last gen players, then give us this current gen features. And filters would be that. They could definitely utilize the power of the current gen consoles. Number 7. Online cross-platform co-op. Allow 2 people to play through the same universe online. I am shocked that this is not a thing. I mean, we got online functionality, even though it was bare bones, in my GM before we got online functionality in Universe mode. And Universe mode's been around for freaking ever. Universe mode is such like a mixed bag when it comes to like probably the functions of it. Imagine throwing the anomaly of online play. It would probably crash the game every time you played it. I don't know how they could get that to work. They could make it to where you can only play, let's say, 6 months at a time, and you can only play it while both players are there if it's a co-op playthrough. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. Like, imagine you and your buddy either playing together as a tag team, playing on opposite brands. I mean, I guess that's my GM, but I would like it much better in Universe mode because I don't know. I just like it better in Universe mode. The My GM thing where you have to like do contracts and make sure your superstars don't get hurt, and you have to worry about their stamina and all this stuff and keeping them happy. No. I just want to play through it with a buddy. We can have competing shows. I don't know. We could have stipulations on each other's shows. We can have invasion angles. It'd just be super fun, especially if they added in all that story stuff I talked about earlier. And I feel like out of all these crazy things I'm hoping for or asking for, I feel like this is the most doable thing they can do in 2K26. In fact, if it's not in there, I'm going to be pissed. Alright, so when you make a tag team or a faction in either exhibition mode or, the offline exhibition mode, not in any in particular mode, or if you make a tag team in Universe mode, I want it to be made for both. I hate having to recreate my factions, my tag teams, going through the entrances again twice. It's such a pain in the ass to do that every single year, especially if you're trying to make a really cool tag team division. When you make your wrestler, your single wrestler, it asks you, do you want to make changes to your universe version of that character? Yes, obviously. So why can't we do that with our tag teams or our factions? It shouldn't be that difficult. And they could have you pick which file you want. So let's say you don't want to screw with this file because you have it all set up already. You can make it so it says, okay, this tag team will be a thing in this file, or this file, this file. Again, that's probably a coding issue, but I definitely want this in next year's game. If it's not in there, like I said, I'm going to be a little pissed off because it's so annoying to have to go in and recreate every tag team you want in both exhibition mode and universe mode. It's like, just make it universal. And if my GM gets more features in it, it should carry over to that mode too. I hate having to switch it off or switch it in every freaking mode. It's like, oh, the hours I've spent recreating tag teams in the last, 3 or 4 games, it's annoying. It's like, sometimes I won't even bother doing it because, you know what? It's just going to screw me anyway. It's like, hey. So yes, tag team. If you make a tag team in either exhibition or universe, it should ask you if you want to make it so it's parity. It has parity. That's simple word. Sums that up. I want parity for when I create my tag teams in universe and exhibition. So anyway, that's my list. A little out there with some of the stuff, but the last one I feel like is very doable. What are some things you would like to see added to universe mode? As always, thank you for watching and stay frosty.